Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody, around the world. Yes, this is me reading a book. I know someone who's dyslexic reading, but this is a book I picked up recently. I met the guy who the book is, but it's based on true story. It's basically his life, and met him and got on well with him. And then I realised someone wrote a book about him, so I brought it. He signed it, and I've been reading it. I'm about 20 pages in, so I thought I'd read maybe 2-3 pages now. Next video, read another 2-3 pages. And it's a book called A Boy Called Arsenal. The world had spun so many times that we had reached April 1962. It was a time of change, strange statement, as you can pick any time in history and apply the same thought. Even though the 60s, especially in UK and the US, have since been looked back upon as a moment in history, upheaval and social and economic change, basically economy change, both in big and small. On April 5th, 1962, a very young NASA pilot, Neil Armstrong, took the latest high-flying super plane flight, the X-15, up to an altitude of 54,600 meters. Don't know what that is in feet. To everyone in the US, that's not part of the book, you know what I mean? The bit I had there about the feet. A new record. On April 9th, 1962, Arnold Palmer won his fifth golf major by taking the Masters for the third time in 5 years. Muffin there, isn't it? Beating Gary Player into second place. Also on 9th of April 1962, West Side Story became the first musical to win 10 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director for Robert Wise and Jerome, Jerome Robbins. Best Supporting Actor for George Clarkes. Best Supporting Actress for Rita Moroni, I think, but I'm not sure. Don't matter the names anyway. On April 27th, 1962, Operational Diplomatic done something rather the astronomical testing of nuclear weapons by the US continued a peace on Christmas Island in the Central Pacific. Also on the 27th of April. And on a later note, Elvis Presley was number 1 in US with his single "Good Luck Charm." The 35th President of the United States in 1962 was John F. Kennedy. Later in 1962, he would embark on a series of something rather months known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. Closer to home, events were not nearly as serious. Hot off the press in London, 2nd of April 1962, the first Panda crossing was opened in the UK outside Waterloo railway station. Who needs Cuban Missile Crisis with gems of news similar to this on our very own doorstep? Harold Macmillan was our Prime Minister, although a survey released on the 27th, that's April, suggested that less than half of the voters approved of him as Prime Minister, MP as Member of Parliament. A time of change indeed. The names changed in politics, but it seemed little else. Performing at the London Palladium for a sellout 2-week spell was one and only Shirley Bassey. Good singer, I think. Singer? Yeah, I think so. was still much alive and kicking. And Shirley was supported by Mike and Barry Winters, along with Ted Rogers. That's not personally done the thingy for Into the Day. No, that's Kenny Loggins. Very similar name, but yeah. In at number one in the UK charts on 27th of April was The Shadows with Wonderful Land. I've never heard of it, but okay. It was to be at the top for 8 weeks before being replaced on the 17th of May by the infamous Bee Bumble and the strings singing Nutcracker. Is it Nutcracker Christmas song? Okay. Not a song that regularly pops up into people's all-time top 10. I've never heard of both of them, so no, none of them are. That week, The Shadows were topping the bill at the Liverpool Empire, supported by Jackie Trent and Fred Ifield, I think. On our journey through the early months in 1962 has finally brought us to Liverpool. Early that month, on the 5th of April, a small but yet to be famous guitar band were playing at the Caverna Club, I think, kind of a club. The event was billed as an evening with George, John, Paul and Peter. You can guess who that is, can't you, if you know the Beatles? I think it is. John, Paul. Yeah, I think it is. But I'm not sure. At this point, their fledgling career, Peter Best was on drums. Yes, it is the Beatles, I think. Football will never be as far from this story. Will never be far from the story, sorry. And on the 28th of April, Ipswich Town won the English First Division for the first and only time in their 141 years as of today. I think that's still true because this was printed 2 years ago, this book. History by narrowly pipping Burnley. Arsenal (AFC) finished 10th. The weather in the UK during April 1962 was cold, wet and blustery. Gale force winds in Scotland, snow across the higher grounds in England and Wales, and the stormy weather of March spilled into the first weeks of April. The temperatures were colder than average, especially in the northwest, and rain fell steadily during the first 3 weeks in Liverpool and Manchester. It was a drab and dingy start to spring in Liverpool. Then the sun came out for a long Easter weekend, so from Good Friday on the 20th through to Easter Monday on the 23rd, the people of Liverpool enjoyed a warmer weather and took to the festivals with a feeling that summer was just around the corner. Mrs. Flynn, it's Flynn, Flynn, I think, heavily pregnant with her second child. The end of the month couldn't come quickly enough. On the day of the 26th, there was a tough one for her, as her water broke and she went into long labour. The day was cold with a thick fog in the morning, drafting into the city of the North Sea. But this soon burned off, and the liver birds sparkled in the early spring sunshine. As the warm sun soon burned the fog away, it was a good day to come into the world. After a long day of labour and pain, Mrs. Pat Flynn gave birth to a baby boy of her 18-month-old to a baby boy for her 18-month-old elder son Edward, known as Eddie. On a cool, damp, foggy night at 6 minutes past midnight, a baby boy was born in North Cantrell Avenue, West Derby. Derby. It's the accent. It's Derby, but I think it's Derby. I think it's pronounced Derby, I don't know, it could be my Dorset accent there. Liverpool. But it would be 9 long years before he became Arsenal Wettock. And that will be about Durdet. That is the first 3 pages of a boy called Arsenal. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe. Like and subscribe because it will help out me a lot. And I'm going to do more of this tomorrow. I will read a few more pages because I really like this book. I've been reading it for a bit and it's a nice book. I think you'll like it as well. If you want to hear more, don't forget to stay tuned till tomorrow. But as always, good